Hello, everyone, and welcome. Just double checking. Yes, my microphone is on. Hello, and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Microsoft subject series. I've got the screen. I've had to prepare the screen today ahead of time just so that I can have everything ready to go. So the stream is down at the bottom, the camera's up here at the top, and I'm going to be looking at the screen here for today's session. Today, we're going to be having a look at modern languages and how you can bring in some of the Microsoft tools that are out there to support your modern languages lessons. We're going to be having a look today at using Bing, Microsoft Translator. We're going to have a look at conversations as well, which is my favorite part of Translator. This is a game changer. This is fantastic. We're then going to have a look at using Bing Maps, linking that into Teams as well, just copying and pasting those links in. And then if we do have time, we'll have a look at Flip and how you can use Flip to record yourself and kind of bring in that modern languages vocabulary. I was going to say French. A lot of the stuff we're going to do today is in French. So I've got my standard grade in French. That's purely why I know some of the words. I know some Polish just because I had some students in my class who would teach me how to speak Polish previously. So things like dzień dobry and jak się masz and these kind of things. But French is definitely my strongest second language there. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing today and using for the modern languages session. But just know anything that I do in French or English, you can use any language at all for whatever we're doing today. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to start sharing my screen. I've got the fear because I can't check on my phone what we're doing because we're going to be using my phone today for the first part. So hopefully you can all hear me. If you can't hear me, please do pop it in the comments. I can at least check the comments as we go. I'm just going to put up just now for you the banner for at the end of today's session. If you do have any kind of feedback for us, we would love to know what your favorite bits were. We had some fantastic feedback over the past couple of days. So please do let us know kind of what your favorite bits have been. All you have to do is type in the link bit.ly, so it's a bit.ly link /TAS-LANG365. Okay, so it's going to be there. I'm going to put it up at the end of the session as well, but it should be in the comments for you too. Okay, so just give me 2 seconds while I present my screen. Share screen, yep. We're going to go for entire screen, screen 2, and we're going to share. Okay. So great, you should now be able to see my screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice that we have, this is my mobile phone, just presenting that screen up using Windows Phone Companion, I think it's called. And then on the right-hand side, we have our application. So our Edge browser. So what will we have a look at first? First, we're going to be having a look at Bing Microsoft Translator. Now, you'll see here I've got my auto-detect English into French. I'm just going to type in good morning, and it's going to automatically give me the French translation for that phrase. That's absolutely fair. I think a lot of people know how to use the Translator apps now, but I've got something cool to show you. So instead of using Translator and having to type everything in, we're going to use the conversation tool. Okay, so over here in the middle, we've got conversations. And I'm just going to close that one down because I've saved it before. And no, thank you. And now it's going to ask us to open up the app, the Translator app. Here it is on the left-hand side here. This is my phone, remember, and to join the conversation. So I'm going to open up Translator. And down here, we have the conversations button. So I'm going to click on conversations and I'm going to start a brand new conversation. If somebody else has a phone already and they're wanting to join, if you're wanting to join, you can type in the code from there. But today we're going to start the conversation. I'm going to have this conversation with myself. So I'm going to hit start. My name, so purely for today's session, I'm going to call myself English Niall on this screen, and I'm going to call myself French Niall on this screen on the right-hand side, just so that you can kind of differentiate there. You'll be able to see the difference in language as we go through, but just to kind of help. And then from there, you can choose your language. Now look at how many languages are available. There are so many: French, French Canadian, Maltese, Norwegian, Ukrainian, which is a great one there. I know a lot of students will be using that just now. Then we've also got text-only languages. So if you were just wanting to use similar to the translator text that we used earlier, you can type using conversations, and you can use all of these languages in here. So like loads: Irish, Persian, Samoan, loads of different languages in there. Okay, so we're going to come all the way back up to the top, and we're going to go for English today. So this is going to be English on the left and then French on the right. I'm then going to hit enter, and it's going to start to create this conversation. From here, I can either type in the code, or with a second device, I can scan this code here. So my first device is my phone, second device is the laptop. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to type this code in here over on the right. So XCEPK. And my name is on this one, French Nile, and we're going to be speaking French. So I'm going to join the conversation, enter. Now, here we are in our conversation. This is going to be particularly useful during, oh, somebody's at the front door, particularly useful during parents' evenings or when you're communicating to families. So what you could do for your parents' evening is have your phone and your laptop already set up, ready to go. Have your phone pointed towards the family that you're wanting to translate for, and then have your laptop there. So whatever they're saying to you in their language, they can, it will be translated for you back into English. So for example, it works a little bit like this. Every time you click on the microphones down here, then you're going to be able to speak. Hello and welcome. I then click the microphone to turn it off, and you will notice over on the right-hand side, so this is what French speaking Niall sees, is we get that translation there. So all I've used is my voice, and it has translated that directly for me. So I can then reply in French. Bonjour, ça va? It does turn off automatically. I have been playing around with it, and I was pressing the buttons and lots of things were going on, but it does turn off automatically for you when it hears that dip. Just kind of keep an eye on the microphones there. So I've said that in French, bonjour, ça va, and it says, hello, how are you? I am well, thanks. How are you? Okay, and then it should translate over here on the French side. Sometimes it takes just a wee second, but this gives you an idea of how you could use this application. So this is the Microsoft Translator app on my phone. It's taken a wee second. Let's try that again. I am well, thanks. How are you? There we go. That's it come through now. So yeah, this is the Microsoft Translator, and we're using the conversation part of that to have that conversation with our students and with maybe families, with anybody that you're needing to translate to. This would be, again, particularly useful if you're learning any new phrases. You could try to have that conversation with someone. One student is speaking English, one student is speaking the other language, and see if you can get it, the pronunciation correct enough that it translates perfectly over in English. So now that we've had a shot of that, I'm just going to close this down and close down conversations. Leave. Niall has left. There was my practice conversation, just double checking my French there. And we're now going to have a look at using Bing Maps. So just kind of a nice wee idea for you here is to use Bing Maps to kind of get your students exploring the world around them. So I know a big part of modern languages is not just learning the words and the phrases, but also experiencing kind of the culture around them and getting to explore the world around them. So what I'm going to do today as the teacher is I'm going to head to, let's go to Paris, just to keep it nice and simple for everyone. And I'm just going to search for a patisserie. Okay, I'm just going to hit enter. From there, I'm just going to choose any patisserie. I don't have any kind of connection to any of these here, so let's go for this one. That one looks particularly nice. It's going to put me here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on this patisserie here, and I'm then going to click on the X. Okay, let's just come in a wee bit more. Now that we have zoomed in, we know where that patisserie is. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move a couple of streets away. Okay, I'm then going to, let's just pull that to the left a wee bit. I'm then going to right click, and I'm going to, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm going to then add a drawing pin. Okay. Now with my drawing pin, I have essentially, it's just a place for the students to visit. So I can now go to the share button and I can copy this bang on location for my students. I can then share that onto Teams. I can share that onto their assignments, share it into OneNote, wherever you want to put that. Now, what I want them to do is I want them to kind of wander through the streets a little bit and see if they can find me a patisserie. So to do that, all they then need to do is click on, once they've followed the link, is click on the street. And there we go. Now we are in the street in Paris. You can make it harder for them by moving further away. You can make it a little bit easier for them by moving a little bit closer. Maybe you're wanting them to discover the Eiffel Tower, L'Arc de Triomphe, any kind of major landmarks. You could get them to do that, or you could get them to search for their keywords for that day. So maybe you could get them to search for voiture and they go off and find a car. Maybe you're going to find a chien and they're going off to see if they can find a dog. Kind of have a little play around, and you can use Bing Maps for this to kind of scroll around the streets of any city in the world and yeah, just kind of bring in that culture into your class. So it's just kind of a fun activity for you, and make it a wee bit of a competition. First one to find that word or that phrase is the winner, that kind of thing. So just a little bit of fun for you using Bing Maps. The last thing I want to show you today is using Flip. So I'm just going to have a wee drink of juice here. So here we have Flip. Mentioned this on, what one was that? Oh, it was Expressive Arts. We used Flip. So we've got examples of using it for drama, art, music, dance, these kind of things. I've got a couple of examples of how you could use it for your modern languages as well. So using Flip, what we can do is we can create our own new group. So you just go group, create a group. From there, create a classroom, choose your age range, hit next, asks you for a group name and for kind of choosing the background. Once you've done that, it's going to look like this, okay? So here I have created my own topic by clicking on the plus there. All you need to do is click on the plus, come up with your title and your question for your students. And here we have an example of that. So words and phrases from our pen pals. I want the students to record themselves using the words and phrases that they've learned from speaking to their pen pals. So maybe you have a sister school in a different country. Maybe you have a school that you are learning to speak Spanish or German with, and you are communicating with them and discussing with them. Well, why not create our own Flip where we can learn about the words from them and we can share with them. Now, obviously, it might be a wee bit hard if we were sharing the same Flip group because GDPR, these kind of things. But what you could do is just from your class's side, just write down the words and phrases, remember what they sound like, and then record them afterwards. So for example, words and phrases from our pen pals. Let's record our first response. So pretending now that I'm a student. So there we go. There's the second camera. Today, I heard our pen pals in France say that the phrases bonjour, ça va. I can then hit next. Today, I heard our pen pals in France say that the phrases bonjour, ça va. Okay, we can now record that as the words that have been stated. Ça va. Okay, we can post the topic, and now we're building up a list or a space of phrases that we have learned from that modern language. It doesn't have to just be from pen pals. It could be from, maybe you're watching an advert in that language. Maybe you're watching, listening to some music in that modern language. It's absolutely up to you how you do this, but it's just a brilliant way for you to record a bank of phrases that then you can listen back to and hear the pronunciation. What might be nice is when you're on your call with the school that you're talking to, if that's the kind of route that you go down, is play back that video and get them to kind of listen and critique your pronunciation. Are you saying the words correctly, or are you adding in that Scottish kind of voice in there? Are you kind of picking up the right kind of phrases? Are you saying things in the right order? Are you kind of saying things in the right kind of tone as well? So you can use Flip to record yourselves, build that bank of phrases, and then when it comes to kind of tests or exam times, you've got that bank of phrases to kind of look back on and kind of refresh yourself on. So that is two kind of ways that we can or three ways that we can use the Microsoft tools to support our learning. I'm just going to stop sharing and kind of bring everything back to full screen. So stop the screen there, and I'm just going to pull this screen up to the top. Great. If you have any ideas as well on how we can bring in modern languages into our kind of Microsoft 365 learning platforms, please do pop them in the comments for everybody to see. If they come in live during the session, I'm more than happy to share them up for everybody. You'll see our Twitter handles down here. So we were TA Scotland and at Niall Ridgway. Drop us a wee follow, share anything with us, share screenshots from today if you like, and kind of let us know. I can see 2 comments have come in there. Gary saying, excellent, thank you for sharing. And merci. Spot on, I love it. Thank you very much, Gary. As we've kind of done with all the sessions, we've got our survey there. Sorry, I'll make it a wee bit bigger. That was the comment that I left earlier. Banners, survey. So if you wouldn't mind, just at the end of today, it takes 20 seconds or so, just type in bit.ly/tas-lang, L-A-N-G, 365. It's in the comments as well, so you can copy and paste if you like. We're finishing a wee bit early today. Fantastic, great timing. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. We are taking a break tomorrow, no session tomorrow, but we will see you on Monday. I cannot even remember what Monday's session is now because you know what? I've scheduled all my tweets to go out and I've seen everything that's up there. What have we got? We've got homework next week, English. We've got social studies. We've got tons of things. Go and check out the website, have a little look, see what we've got going on next week. Come back and join us. 20 minutes at the end of the day, relax up a wee bit, get a couple of ideas on how you can include Microsoft 365 in your lessons. We'll see you again sometime soon. Cheers. Bye.